Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. We're very fortunate to have this evening Dr. Bill Rhodes. Bill was on the program on Monday and talked about some of the findings in a fascinating study he's done. In fact, I've followed Bill for a couple of years, and some of the thoughts that he has on professional piloting, we all could benefit from. Welcome back, Bill.
Delighted to be here, Harry. Thanks.
A couple of things that have stuck in my mind. Self-mastery may be more important than aircraft mastery. Talk about that.
Well, I think if we spend any time around aviators, we run across the phrase, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Or in a hangar flying session, people might say, yeah, that seemed like a bad idea, but I did it anyway, and now I regret it, or I'm kicking myself. It's one thing to know what to do. It's an entirely different thing to actually do it. Ask anybody who's dieted or tried to quit smoking about that phenomenon. So we're interested not just in understanding what it is that pilots know, but how they translate what they know into what they actually do. And we call that self-mastery. The ability to do what there are the best reasons to do is self-mastery.
Now, Bill, one of the things that I remembered from one of your talks is, I think it's a three-stage process. Are we talking about perception, judgment, and commitment?
We are. We measured three aspects of professionalism: the capacity to smoke out or detect a threat to the safety of flight, the capacity to think through the best course of action, particularly in ambiguous situations where there may be no right answer, but some answers are nonetheless better than others. And third, once we've completed that process of deciding what the best course of action is, actually carrying out that course of action. One of our thoughts is that if we have a pilot-induced mishap in a competent pilot, that is a pilot who can pass check rides, it probably results from a failure in one or more of those three areas of professionalism.
Now, Bill, I think it was last time you were talking a little bit about the simulator, and you said that some pilots did fine. You said some pilots basically killed themselves in the simulator. But something that really struck me as interesting was that you mentioned of those people killed in the simulator, what resulted was often a very powerful motivator not to do that again. Did I say that right?
You said that right. We were stunned to see the radical improvement in, we had a pre-post test design. That is, each of our pilots flew two scenarios. And on the first scenario, they could either pass or fail. Passing meant safe on airport landing. Failure was anything else that would result in some kind of damage to an aircraft or a fatality or bodily injury. The pilots who flew well in the first scenario, that is, they landed safely, didn't find much differently in the second. No, there was no statistical difference. But for those who hurt themselves in the first scenario, simulated crash or off-airport event, they improved radically by about 2/3. So we had a drop, I think, from 68 down to 27 mishaps pre-post for those pilots, for those 68 pilots who hurt themselves on the first ride.
Wow. So the motivator is, and these people knew that some of their colleagues flew it okay.
Yes. We think it's critical that the pilot actually own the experience. We didn't provide any training, but those who failed came back and said things like, I really learned something about myself, and I've been interested in hitting the books or thinking this through. How did I make that mistake? And I think it's that self-directed learning, that self-examination that really accounts for the improvement.
Wow. And of course the beauty of it, it was in the simulator, and they didn't have to learn the lesson in blood.
Exactly. And it's similar to the phenomenon I think many of us have experienced where we've scared ourselves in an airplane and we vowed, let's not do that again.
Right.
Doesn't take an instructor in that case.
You know, we've got just a minute left. I'm going to get you back on one more time because I've got a couple of phrases that you've coined I want to share with our audience and let you talk a little bit more about it. I think it's a phenomenal study and we've got so much to learn. So thanks for being on the program tonight. We'll get you back one more time.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. And I would like to remind you that the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, who sponsors this program, who sponsored the seminar that Bill was the guest speaker at, but we only can do it, it's a member-supported organization. None of the board of directors are paid. We all volunteer, but we need your help. We need you to renew your membership for 2014. The letters are in the mail. It's $35 for individuals, $110 for corporate, and $15 for students. Please help us out. Please help us out so we can bring programs like this to you and also the seminars. And until next time, fly safe.